and Gen Z. Uh, Never really had a place of my own in my teens and 20s and even some of my 30s till last year. I drove a truck. I decided, I knew at a very young age, since I was probably five, I said, if I could drive a truck, I'll at least have a place to stay, a free place to stay. I'll be able to have income and I'll be able to see the world. I knew I always wanted to travel also. Bam, bam, bam. Well, it wasn't until I started trucking until I realized it's not all roses out there. So I did suffer quite a bit, but it really made life worth living. But I never had rent. I never had bought a house or anything, and I'm so glad I didn't. I was always told, when are you gonna grow up? From all these people who, were living paycheck to paycheck, and it's like, well, I've never asked for a handout from anybody. I've never had anybody give me any money or have to really rely on anybody. Not have to. I've had people help me, not financially, but like with a place to park my truck and stuff like that. Um, but I will say, man, like I said, all I wanted to do when I was young was not have to worry, and I finally achieved that in my 30s, all because of trucking. So I wouldn't recommend getting into trucking as just a regular career if you have a family, if you have a house and everything. But if you're starting at a young age, you kind of want to travel a little bit and you want to save some money. You can save a lot of money trucking. But if you have a mortgage payment and stuff, you don't want to come home, for 2 days a month cutting grass and doing all the house stuff and then having to jet back on the road. But if you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of your 20s or whatever and seriously save some money, I was able to seriously save some money. I could have paid for this house cash and still had plenty invested. But that's such a nice feeling. And so trucking did afford me that. So if you're considering, if you want a low stress life, maybe think about getting into the trucking industry, but plan on getting out eventually. Getting into the trucking industry was the best decision of my life, and getting out was an even better decision.